Marcia's favorite vase.
She always says don't play ball in the house.
Pork chops and applesauce. That's swell.
Marcia. Hey, you guys. Oh, my nose!
Welcome to Here's the Story, a Brady Bunch podcast. Hey, I'm not going to tear this thing apart. It's my favorite show. I'm recording this on August 5th, 2021, Maureen McCormick's 65th birthday. Happy birthday, Marcia. Episode 17, The Undergraduate. The title is a play on the name of the 1967 film, The Graduate, which, as you will see, has a very similar premise. Greg's in bed, staring off into space. He didn't go with his brothers to see a movie. His mom thinks something's wrong with him, so she takes his temperature. But he's not sick. There is something wrong, though. He needs to get his math test signed. So he goes down to the den to show it to his dad. He's failed. He got a 48. Mike is upset and confused because Greg has always been a straight-A student in math. He signs it and sends him on his way with a swat on the behind, which I think was unscripted and shocked the actor Barry Williams. Greg goes to Marcia's room to ask her what women look for in men, and she rattles off the qualities of different actors, while, unseen by her, he tries acting each one of them out. His physical acting is pretty funny, and in the earlier scene with his dad, he has a great deadpan delivery to some really comedic lines. He's done this in earlier episodes, along with a bit of sarcasm I've mentioned before. I think the casting director hit gold when they found him. And in the near future, we'll see him develop a musical talent as well. The next scene has Alice come into the living room to read a love poem to Mike and Carol that fell out of Greg's pants in the laundry. In 1998, I was hired to work on a comic book called Hermes, and the writer I was teamed up with told me that the story was a cross between steampunk and ska music, neither of which I had heard of, so I started doing some research. This was my first inkling that I was now a few years older than the age group that is always on the cutting edge of whatever's in vogue. It was funny when about 15 years later, my friend Sean said, "I just heard about this new thing called steampunk. Ever hear of it?" My research into ska music led me to the website of some underground group called the Bruce Lee Band that had actually recorded their CD at a music studio here in Florida, and by sheer coincidence was produced by Bruce Lee's younger brother, Robert. When he heard the name of their band, he told him to change it, so the CD was actually titled The B. Lee Band. So I bought their CD, and I actually really liked it. Without going into too much detail, I've since collected every album they've released, as well as everything from Robert Lee. More than 8 hours of music. Well, on that B. Lee Band CD, they have songs about Mr. Hanalei and his encounter with the Bradys in the future episodes of them in Hawaii. A song about being in love with Ann B. Davis, the actress who plays Alice. And this very audio clip of Alice reading this love poem spliced into the middle of a song. Anyway, Mike and Carol are relieved that the only thing going on with Greg is just a case of puppy love. Except it's not. Greg actually has a crush on his math teacher. And she's played by Gigi Peru. I don't know if I pronounced that right. She's French, but I didn't hear an accent. But she's been a professional actress since she was 18 months old in 1943 and is still working today. Mike, Carol, and Alice are all sitting around the kitchen table trying to figure out the best approach to help Greg. They think he likes a girl his age named Linda, but they can't get him to talk about it. What's funny is that they're all wearing matching blue shirts and look like a bowling league. Mike tries a man-to-man discussion that goes nowhere. Alice spends time with each of the kids trying to see if any of them know a Linda. And so far in this series, Christopher Knight, who plays Peter, has one style of acting: astonished yelling. I'm looking forward to him getting more to do in future episodes so that he can grow as a character like I know he will. Marcia brings home some girls from school to study with, and Carol latches onto the one named Linda. She just moved here from Seattle, though she has a bizarre British-like accent that no one seems to notice. People from Seattle don't sound like Davy Jones, do they? Greg comes home, and to Carol's great disappointment, he has no interest in this girl. Wrong Linda. And now Carol is stumped because there are no Lindas in Greg's entire school yearbook. When Mike comes home, he figures it out. There's a letter waiting there for him in the mail from Greg's teacher, Miss Linda O'Hara, to come see him after school tomorrow. So the next day he goes in, he meets her, and learns that her boyfriend is the professional baseball player he just saw outside. And he goes out to get him and bring him in to meet Greg. Greg is starstruck to meet Wes Parker, a real-life Dodger, and agrees to get an A in math in exchange for baseball tickets at the end of the year. Greg sure likes baseball. I've never watched a game. One time I met this girl who gave me her phone number, and when I called her later that night, she talked for an hour straight about baseball. I didn't know what to say. I didn't call her back. Hey, look, I'm just like Greg. Baseball got us both to stop talking to a girl. This episode was written by David Harmon, who would write 5 more Brady episodes, but he also wrote 2 Star Trek episodes. The Deadly Years, where the Enterprise crew ages really fast, and A Piece of the Action, where they go to a planet based on 1930s-era Chicago, with Mel Sharples playing a gangster.
Mel, kiss my grip!
And he would go on to write the first and last Gilligan's Island TV movies. One last thing to point out. Miss O'Hara has a bonsai tree on her desk. I had no idea that bonsai trees existed before 1984. I thought Mr. Miyagi invented them. Until next time.
Bonsai. Bonsai!
Bonsai.
Bonsai!
Bonsai!
Close enough.